the societal and environmental causes. So in today's world, businesses are increasing expected to go beyond profit and focuses on ethical practices, sustainability, and community welfare. So the question still remains that can company strike a balance between profit making and social responsibility, and what should be the priority? So we have our panel member. First, we have Adolph Manu, who is a business leader in extensive experience in general management consulting. As a general manager of GATCH Global Trading Company Limited, Adolph oversees operations, strategic direction, market expansion. He also serves as a lead consultant at VOS Adobe Professional Services. We have Victor Tembo, who is a highly skilled procurement and supply chain management professional, currently serving as a procurement agent manager and team leader at Charles Kendall Partners in collaboration with Millennial Challenges account in Malawi. Victor has an experience in managing procurement service, contract, and logistics on large scale projects. We have Krishnapriya T. Nair, who is a dedicated academic leader and educator at UniAthena. She is our associate course leader, specializing in business and management education. With her understanding on organization behavior, corporate ethics, and CSR, Krishnapriya can bring academic and theoretical perspective of today's discussion. Last but not the least, we have Ankita, who is a learning facilitator at UniAthena, where she helps development in professional and managerial competencies with a focus of strong leadership. Ankita helps learner to bridge the gap between the theory and real life application of CSR activities. Now, before we begin, we encourage all the learners, all the attendees to participate and ask questions throughout the session. Your encouragement will help to make this discussion very lively and informative. Also, we would like to announce that the certificate of participation will be free and it will be provided after the end of the session. Thank you once again for joining this webinar. You can also check out the courses go below the link given, and let's make this discussion very much fruitful and enjoying. Thank you once again for joining us this live discussion. Sally, over to you.
Thank you, Arga. Good afternoon, good evening, everyone. My name is Saili Joshi, and I am the Senior Learning Facilitator with UniAthena. I welcome you all for today's session. We have a small debate today, and I welcome the esteemed panel as well. And I believe that it's going to be a very healthy debate, and the topic is profit or CSR. So first, let us try to understand what is CSR. CSR is corporate social responsibility, and this is an activity that many organizations all over the world carry out as a responsibility towards the society they live in, and it goes beyond business operations and profitability. CSR refers to the responsibility that companies have towards the people, towards the society that they are living in. And there are some key aspects that are impacted by CSR, social, environmental, and economic. Generally, CSR is a voluntary and a self-regulated activity. Very few countries have made it mandatory as part of their day-to-day activities. However, the companies who want to give it back to the society, they are coming forward and carrying out a lot of activities that is changing the world. CSR is also an activity that enhances accountability to stakeholders and the public. And these initiatives, they foster greater transparency and accountability. when the companies are actively engaging in socially responsible practices, they somehow try to build trust with their stakeholders like employees, customers, investors, and the public. They also show something beyond that, yes, they do care, and this is something that they want to go beyond profits. Now, I would like to focus quickly on types of CSR. We read a lot of news, we go through a lot of events wherein organizations come forward and they either donate money to the to universities, or they carry out some philanthropic activities, or they support girl child. They also set up a lot of hospitals or medical care facilities. So CSR has been categorized into four different types. The first one is environmental social responsibility, and this type focuses on minimizing the environmental impact of business activities. So there are a lot of production facilities, there are a lot of business corporate setups who create a lot of pollution or who harm the environment. So these activities adopted by the companies are generally into reducing pollution or conserving natural resources and promoting sustainability. The second type is ethical and or human rights social responsibility. They generally revolve around ensuring that a company's operations are fair and justified. And this includes respecting human rights, promoting diversity, ensuring safe working conditions for the employees, and so on. The third type, which I mentioned, is philanthropic corporate responsibility. This is where the organizations come forward and they involve in giving back to the society by donating money, products, or services to the charities and community programs. And the fourth category is economic corporate responsibility, where companies they do understand that as the if they want to be profitable, at the same time they make it sure that they pursue practices that support long-term growth while balancing social and environmental impact. So these are some types of CSR. Today, we are focusing on two particular case studies, and these case studies are have been picked by our team. And Patagonia is the first organization that we have considered for today's debate. Patagonia is a very popular brand and it is into outdoor clothing. And this organization has decided to donate its 1% of sales to the environmental causes, and they encourage customers to reduce unnecessary consumption. Now, Patagonia has been a very highly profit earning company. At the same time, they are doing carrying out this CSR activity. So we will be considering this case study in our today's debate. Some key points which we would be discussing today is Patagonia has experienced significant financial growth despite prioritizing social causes, and the company has built strong brand loyalty amongst their customers, and they have immensely increased their market share. So we will be considering all these points in our debate today. The second case study is Unilever, which again will be discussed today. Unilever is a brand. I believe every household has some or the other product from Unilever, and it has launched its sustainable living plan to address social and environmental challenges while achieving business growth. Now, in case of Unilever, they have seen solid financial growth along its sustainability goals, and it has balanced approach demonstrates that profitability and ethical responsibility can complement each other. So these are the two case studies that we will be considering today. I request the panel to come forward and start discussing. The first discussion question is, does Patagonia's success suggest that focusing on social responsibility can enhance long-term profitability? Ankita, Adolphe, KP, Victor.
Thank you, Sayali. Thank you for the wonderful opening. Thank you, Arga, for introducing us. I welcome everyone today. Sayali, as you rightfully have pointed out what CSR is, because I will be talking in favor of CSR today. And as I want to tell my audience that today, if you go to Patagonia's website, there is a website. The ad that Patagonia is flashing on their website talks about not buying their product. Okay. It says don't buy this jacket unless you want to reuse, recycle, you want to repair and reduce. When I say these four things and when I say sustainability, I feel that these four contribute majorly to the company's not only sole aim other than profit. Okay. Now, only profit being the aim, the company would not have taken it this far and reached this stage where company themselves are saying please don't buy the product unless you want to contribute anything to the climate and to the society. So only the company that has gone far beyond their profitable aims only can go for such kind of ads. So it's a very bold move on the part of the company, I feel. And I think this ultimately is going to impact in long term and affect companies profitability positively.
All right, thank you, audience. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for the opportunity today. If I heard Ankita very right, the company is doing such because it's been able to go far with the profitability. Yes, Patagonia as a company is an exceptional case, considering the size 2017 when Patagonia hits its first $1 billion sales. When Patagonia hit its first $1 billion sales, it represented almost 8% of the global apparel markets. This actually gives Patagonia that position to be able to embark on certain sales or be able to charge premium for its products. Small-scale companies do not have this luxury to go in for CRS over its profitability. And mind you, the major request of every investor or every businessman is to be able to survive. And we have to do now before we reconsider any other thing that will be required in the future, in the next day. So prioritization of profits is of a major importance as compared to corporate social responsibilities. And it goes on the fact that we must survive first before we look on elsewhere to check what we can do to support society. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone.
That's a great point, Adolf. You have really said whatever you have said that really justified that small scale industry or any company with lesser investment cannot afford CSR activities. Just a great point. Victor, any inputs on this? Anything that you want to add or you want to support
Yes.
Ankita on this?
Sure. I'm supporting the corporate social responsibility. First of all, I hope you can hear me since I'm wearing this again. I had to switch off my laptop and come back on.
No
Can you
problem,
hear
no
me clear?
problem.
All right. Yeah. I think the first thing that we all need to be aware of is that corporate social responsibility can also be taken as a very strategic, intervention on the part of every organization. Now, there are no hard and fast rules which say that you should start corporate social responsibility with a certain budget or with a certain scale. An organization can start from any position, from its vantage point. And the previous speaker referred to Patagonia being, a larger firm and saying that smaller firms cannot afford that. But the contrary, if you look at other smaller firms in the US, for instance, Tom's Shoes, I don't know if you're aware of that company, which was founded in 2006. This is a relatively small company, about 230 employees, but it has undertaken a serious corporate social responsibility to the extent whereby it donates a pair of shoes for every pair sold. Now, this is doing good to the public. They're doing it in line with their own values and beliefs and according to their own scale. They do not have to do it for 1 billion people, just for them to be at the level of Patagonia. They don't have to be. All they have to do is to undertake corporate social responsibility activities to differentiate themselves, and also based on the values of the organization, what the organization believes in, so that whatever actions they undertake under corporate social responsibility are authentic. I think this is one point that we need to bear in mind. There are no hard and fast rules that
well justified. It's depend on the mindset of the company, which right. So, Krishna Priya, any?
Yeah, I do agree with Adolf that the primary responsibility of any business, okay, is to maximize the profit for its shareholders. So only if we have enough money with us, we can reinvest in other sustainable operations or innovative methods or research or any other developments. So I agree with Adolf saying that profit ensures the company's sustainability, okay? And if the company is not having enough resources, like financial resources, of course, okay, a company cannot move only with the CSR activities. Okay, for CSR activities, a company has to move a good amount of money, that is that they can create it from the profit only. So profit should be the primary goal of any company, and then moving to the other. If we are achieved with the enough profit and we have reached on a global level, then some sort of CSR activities can be considered. If you take Patagonia also, Patagonia is a company which started very long back in 1973, okay? And they are operating in more than like all over the country, all over the globe, with more than factories around 16 countries, okay? Now only they have started with their CSR activities. Okay, if you take a 10 years back, Patagonia was not propagating about these kind of sustainable products. Okay, and these CSR activities, if you check closely, they are using it as a caption for branding themselves, making their product different from their competitors. Okay, that they are actually using it as a tool to make their product stand out as a competitor. And as Victor was pointing out, that most of the small scale companies, okay, which can contribute to the CSR activities, I can provide some companies who fail. Okay, there are some companies, even the top companies, who failed on focusing on, who failed only because they focus more on the CSR. An example I can quote is Soma Water, which was a social enterprise. They started their company with a mission to provide environment-friendly water filters and donate global clean water initiatives. But because they had a lot of, they invested more on the CSR, okay, rather than their pricing strategy. They tried to provide their product in a very low price, okay, in a highly competitive market like this, okay, and they failed to attract their customers, and ultimately they had to close down. And there is also another company called Ben and Jerry's, which is later taken by Unilever. Okay, their products were they also tried to contribute more on the CSR efforts, and ultimately they had to close down, or they were taken up by Unilever, which is again a branded company as mentioned in the case study. So if you take the examples of Unilever and Patagonia, they have created their space in the global market, achieved most of the profit. Okay, they have created their branding, and in order to make them the top superior in the competitive market, they are using CSR activities. Okay, that is what I feel.
So, Ankita, what do you think is when Patagonia, you visit their website and see a T-shirt, do you think it is a branding activity? Is it making their brand popular? What do you think?
Sayali, rightfully, as you have said that, what do you feel about the ad? Somewhere I would disagree with Krishna Priya's viewpoint here as marketing only being the purpose behind, having making it profitable or reputable. Now, as you again go to the website and gross through the content that they have put up, they clearly have stated that this is not a strategy and this is not an ad. Okay. Now, when they are saying it themselves that this is not a strategy and it's just a way of transitioning and transforming. Okay. So I feel transitioning doesn't happen in a day's time. It does take effort. It does take a thought process, and transition can happen anytime. And at least so far as the company is concerned, the company is having a proper understanding of, we all know what is pestle analysis today. We all of us have been studying pestle analysis in our management lessons. And to tell you, CSR has been a part of the external environment, being the external viewpoint of the pestle analysis, and that particular external environment somewhere contributes to society and environment taken together. Okay, so when I say pestle, I have two main points: a social contribution and an environmental contribution. And every business in their lifetime, one or the other time, sometime, have to give it back to the society, because they are taking from the society, they are taking resources from the environment, and they have to give it back by way or the other. The question is different if the laws there, which are demographically very stringent or not. Eventually it will happen that there will be cases where countries will be making the laws more stringent in terms of having businesses contribute an X percentage to CSR every year or yearly. We can see this transition coming through way of even smallest of the companies who are just taking a smaller step, and a step by step 100% this is going to make effort in this is going to contribute to a long term sustainable impact. Here we are more inclined towards sustainability. Profit is there because profit eventually every business will incur after a break-even point. The break-even analysis in itself tells us that a break-even comes where there is a no profit and loss situation, and eventually businesses know how to get over it. So that is a part of their life cycle. But when you are contributing something different, you mean you are contributing to the pestle analysis, you are taking care of the external environment of business. And that is what I will justify by this.
Good point, Ankita. Adolphe, Victor?
Yes. When Victor was talking, he made mention of the example of a US-based company being a startup that has contributed greatly to CSR. A survey by the Small Business Association in US, conducted in 2019, actually reveals that it's only 37% of small-scale businesses that would have the financial resources to be able to take up CSR programs. So which means that we have about 67 percent of 63, yes, 63% of the small-scale businesses in the United States that cannot take up CSR responsibility considering their existing financial constraints. So if it become a model that there's one code that fits all, bet you emerging businesses will collapse. Small-scale businesses will not survive. So prioritizing CSR over profit is a no-go area for small-scale businesses. We have companies that have come in. We are talking about renewable energy as a source that we should consider. We have a company called Songivity that came in with renewable energy within 2017, filed for bankruptcy. Why did they file for bankruptcy? Because they did not have enough resources to continue with this particular initiative. Though CSR is good, but profit overrides the need for CSR. Thank you.
Okay. So, Arga, till now, we have very solid arguments which have been put forward. Ankita and Victor are in for the topic wherein they are saying that organizations take a lot from the society, and it is an obligatory situation wherein the organization should give back to the society where they live in, where they do their profits, and after break-even point, they should initiate the CSR activities, wherein Krishna Priya and Adolph are saying that profit should be the sole objective of any organization. They do employ the people from the society. They do all the activities wherein the employees will run their families. They will solely they will sustain in the economy, and that's how the country's economy situation will improve. So they are against the topic. So till
Answer,
now,
means it's like both are correct, and Krishna, I also agree with Krishna Priya that without prioritizing the profit, you cannot incorporate CSR. And also, I agree with Ankita that it is a responsibility for the from the organization to give something back to the society. It enhances the brand image. It enhances the growth to the company. It gives something. Also, people will consumer will able to identify that this company has done something. So it's totally a confused situation. Who are wrong? Who are right? So
Arga, I guess Victor has to say something.
Arga, I also agree with you that, like Angita's point, that companies are taking from the society, so they have to give back. But our discussion here is whether to prioritize profit over CSR. Okay. So first, the company has to stand up. Okay. They have to make enough profit, and then they can return to the society in terms of job or any other CSR activities like that. So that's what our point is. First, the companies has to make a profit enough so that they can put it in a that resources can be utilized in a very effective way. They can put the money, okay, equally distribute. Not that we are just starting a CSR and dropping it in between or not completing it fulfilling. Okay, there are many companies who have started the CSR initiatives. For example, PepsiCo. Okay, they started some sustainability initiatives and then they stopped because they understood that they are draining out. Even the big companies are facing challenges when they are doing. So once you start with the CSR initiative, you have to go with it. But before that, as Ankita was mentioning, you have to do some analysis, whatever the analysis be, whether it is a pest analysis or SWOT analysis. You must understand what is the requirement of the society. Okay, you have to do a thorough research on it, invest on it. Okay, when you want to invest, if it is a technology wise or any contribution wise, you should have that financial support. So that is what we are focusing here, that companies should focus on making profit, and as a sub part of their activities, they can contribute to CSR activities also. Because if you know, the great leader of India, Ratan Tata, who contributes most of its profit to the society. Okay, there also he's contributing profit only, not his asset. Okay, the money in the business. Okay, they are, every company, if you take, they are contributing a part of their profit. That is what CSR laws also state. A percentage of the profit that they make needs to be contributed. So that's
so
what
Krishna Priya,
we.
do you think that when a company is increasing its profits, it is all automatically going to come down to the employees? Their salaries are going to increase.
Yes,
Their
yes, that
incentives
is
are
also a
increased,
social
and
responsibility. CSR. Yes, of course.
the societal upliftment is going to happen either ways.
Yes.
So do you think that not going outside and just keeping it within the company will help?
No, a part of it can be given to the society also. That is what the laws are. Okay. And if you see, as a company grows, its employees also grow, as you rightly pointed out. Okay. When the employees grow, their family grows. Ultimately, the society is what growing. Okay. And it is economically impacting the country. Okay. So you, as a company, makes new branches. There are a lot of job opportunities, which is very deficient nowadays. Job opportunity. Youths are not getting job. That is also a social responsibility of a company to give jobs and to train people. Okay. So only if you make profit, you can do contribute on all those things. Otherwise, you will be always focusing on your product, how to bring up your company. Okay. So that's what we are focusing to say that even if it is a big company or small company, make profit, have enough money on your hand, and then you contribute to the society.
Point well noted, KP Krishna.
Sayali, just to give a small hint on what right now was said. Basically, I would want to know where the profit is coming from. The profit is entirely coming from the society itself, right? So when the profit is coming from society itself, and the first motive of when a company wants to sell something in the outside market, it just wants to sell whatever it makes. Okay. So whatever, if it is a good product or a bad product, that doesn't count. Okay. What counts is what you want to sell. So whatever you make, you want to sell outside. And when you want to sell it to people and you want to earn profit from them, and profit is not something that you just make and sell. You make something and sell it at a higher price that comes with a motive. Profit making does not come just like that. If a business is asked just to sell what they make, they will never say yes to it. Every time a profit comes with a motive, and the motive is selling more than how much you incur to make it. So the making cost, the cost I'm talking about, and the selling price are the two things. Never a business will want to sell it at the same price it makes. Eventually, the break even comes at a point where the company goes beyond and covers its cost expenses. Once they cover up that expense and start earning super normal profit, something where they are able to sell what they make at a very higher price, only then they are able to get that profit. So if we want to differentiate profit from CSR, these two fall at a different paths. And if CSR is followed as a sole aim in a business, then ultimately the business is actually and really contributing beyond their motive.
Okay, let
Right.
us hear what
coming
Adolf has to say. Yes, Adolf.
Coming back to the point, whether this industries or companies' performance exceptional. First of all, let me put this across. Profit itself, making profit itself, is contributing to the economy and society. Once you maximize profit, you have indirectly contributed to society. Why? Because before you arrive at profit, there's a component called taxation. And then the justification for taxes is because companies generate income and make sales, they make profits from a society. Therefore, they should be taxed so that the government can run the economy system to ensure that the company is sustainable. So you paying tax is itself contributing to society. And you cannot make profits without paying tax. So the more profits you make, the more you have already contributed to the society. So bringing a burden of CSR after profit making as a priority is eventually trying to take from the beginning and taking from the end and collapsing the businesses. So that should not be the focus. Why? That's why when it comes to taxation, we have industry-specific bandwidth. When you go to the mining industry, the bandwidth is higher than when you go to the professional service industry or teaching industry. The reason is that the government needs more resources from the mining industry to do rehabilitation, to do environmental cleanup. So your tax burden there is higher. So already the government has already taken from you. The society has already taken from you. So making CSR a priority again is more or less like, well, we exist and we work for society. We do not work for those who invested their money. So profit maximization overrides the need for CSR for companies. We understand the basis that Pentagon has done something exceptional. They've done something good, but their position, their industry, their nature, the period of operation has given them the grounds to do that. We need to have profit to perform. Thank you.
Victor, anything to say? You want to speak?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, please.
I think first of all, the last argument on the taxation as being contributing to society, I find it a little flawed. Flawed in that taxation is a legal obligation, whilst corporate social responsibility is not a legal obligation. It's a decision that a firm will make on its own out of ethical thinking, and that in line with its values. Now, let's, for argument's sake, just have like two unknown companies producing the same kind of products, same quality, and one of the companies helps to clean hospitals, the other one does nothing at all. Honestly, which of the two companies will be more recognized by the consumers? Consumers will recognize the one that is involved in cleaning hospitals because it's presenting itself as a socially responsible company, and in so doing, is indirectly reposition its brand. So if you talk about profit, making profit, covers a lot of things. There are issues of operational efficiency and cost reduction, and this can be connected to issues of sustainability. What kind of production methods do you use? What kind of materials do you use? How do you handle your waste? Energy efficiency, production, and things like that. Those also contribute to profit. Now, I think a clever company, would not want to wait until it starts making super profit for it to even engage the community, talking to them about reproductive health, for instance. How much would that cost the company? So, like I said in my earlier argument, that there's no set budget for corporate social responsibility. It's all about what you can do within your limited means as an organization, and how your values reflect what you're doing. It has to be authentic. It's not a question of just wanting to make profit first, or making profit out of corporate social responsibility, and then you feel that that's when it's more practical to do it. It's how authentic is it? How does it present the values of the organization? And mind you, a company that upholds corporate social responsibility is considered as a company of high values by even employees. So at the end of the day, you want to attract the best employees. They should be attracted to an organization which lives according to the principles of high ethical values. So I think we need to look at this in a broader sense of the situation. And then one last point. There's a company, Starbucks. Starbucks has implemented full-scale corporate social responsibility. And one of the issues that's done is that it has introduced ethical sourcing, whereby it sources its coffee from farmers who are in line with ethical principles, smart farming, and they only buy a certain type of coffee, and they support those farmers in terms of ensuring that they only buy from the local farmers. This will not cost them much. The only thing that it will cost is the effort that they put in at ensuring that they educate the farmers, and they develop their supply base. It's about supply development. So again, like I said, we need to look at corporate social responsibility, I think, in the broader sense, and see how indirectly it can contribute to profitability in the long run.
Victor, I have a question for you. The two companies that you mentioned in your first example, and you said that if one company is heavily into CSR activities and the other one is not, how will the consumers perceive? What if the other company has heavy profits, and if I buy their shares and it is paying me heavily in my dividends, and I can afford a good insurance plan? How does it matter to? I mean, how it doesn't matter to me, to the consumers, how it will perceive the company. So I mean, is CSR or no CSR? If the other company is making heavy profits and giving it back to their shareholders or employees, I think it is one and the same, right?
Well, not necessarily. I think even a gigantic company that is making super profits needs to retain those profits. It needs to remain relevant. Because mind you, the competition is watching and the competition is saying what you are not doing right. Sooner or later, you'll be overtaken. If you can have a large corporation like Microsoft, undertaking corporate social responsibility at a large scale. Why should the small ones do the same? Others will say Microsoft is almost a monopoly in this area, or faces minimum competition. It's a large scale organization, but it is fully involved in corporate social responsibility.
So I would like to say a thing about Victor's point, that Victor was pointing that about comparing the companies going with the CSR. So as I mentioned, our topic is actually, it is not going for this, like whether you have to go for a CSR or not. It is not like that. We are saying first you prioritize with the profit and then go for the CSR activities. Okay. So that is what we are talking about. And if you see, and whatever examples Victor has pointed out, like Starbucks, even if it is a Starbucks or Microsoft, okay, any company, okay, if you take the growth from the initial stage itself, they have not started with a directly CSR product or sustainable products. They have tried to first make a place in the global market with enough profit and brand. And as a result, okay, they have started spending a part of their profit, maybe a part because of the laws and regulations, or maybe with the great leaders they are having, they've started with the CSR activities. Okay. And even if coming to the examples, okay, whether you have same two products, okay, if you see most of the sustainable or green products that is marketed today are more priced than the conventional things that we find in market. Okay, whatever it is labeled as a green or sustainable product in the market, it is more costlier. If you compare Patagonia products and any other local brand, okay, or compare with H&M and Patagonia or any other local products, okay, the organic products, Patagonia is more costly, right, when compared to other local products. So sustainable products are actually making some companies they utilize this name of CSR, and that is called as CSR washing. Okay, they make this CSR as a tagline, or the sustainable responsibility as a tagline for their products, to market their products, okay, and to sell it in a higher prices. So if you remember that Volkswagen emission issue that happened, okay, Volkswagen was propagating that they are into the green, like they are not providing any pollution to this environment. Okay, their engines are designed in such a way, okay, but then they were caught because of they had provided a defective device in their vehicles, which, so even the CSR term is misused by most of the top companies, okay, and they are misleading its products. If you take another example of Coca-Cola, okay, where they say that they are recycling or their product or reusing their bottles, okay, in order to save the society. But actually what they are doing, they're taking up the water, okay, in the groundwater. They're actually causing depletion of local water sources wherever they have the factories. So, and that has also contributed to a lot of environmental issues. Even in India, many people are suffering because of that, their factory that has opened in India. And if you take McDonald's, okay, who is very much into the CSR initiatives, and who like market that their food are very nutritional, transparent, reducing waste and sourcing sustainable ingredients. Do you think McDonald's food are good for our children? So it is not always that we feel that companies are doing CSR only for good things, okay, but there are companies who misuse the CSR, okay, activities, and they are trying to make profit. They're also there. They are trying to make their profit. They are trying to sell their brand. Okay. So it is not always that you have to focus on the CSR. So as I mentioned, example of Ratan Tata, who had actually made enough money and enough profit, and there is nothing he has to make more. So he has invested in CSR initiatives. So when you have enough money, when you are able to withstand in your own business, okay, and if your business has grown enough well, then that part of a profit, we can use it for CSR. It is not that we are saying that CSR is bad, you should not do CSR activities. No. Companies should not make profit out of CSR. That is what we are telling.
Krishnapriya, when you quoted examples like McDonald's and Volkswagen, do you mean to say that companies are at fault at some phase and then they are trying to cover their faults or their errors by
Yeah.
doing CSR
Yes,
activities? That is
yes.
what you're trying to say?
There are examples and they're using CSR initiatives, okay,
Cover up.
because there are stringent laws being implemented. As you know, it is our earth is globally affected with the pollution, and all the industries have that stringent laws and regulatory frameworks. So somehow they have to show that they are doing something sustainable or environment friendly aspects. So many companies are using the CSR concepts and misusing that concepts, okay, in order to make more profit and withstand in the society, in the competitive environment.
But I think there are means audit companies that they can go through the finances and they can able to identify that what is happening, because there are companies who tried this thing, whitewash their money. But however, at the long term, they somehow get demolished. In India, I am saying, like we have Sahara India, they have started, they did all the CSR activities initially. They tried to show their brand image, they were doing so many good things, but unfortunately, at the end, it was all means they are reflecting their good images, but at the end, they were just whitewashing their money. So
Yeah, that
it's
is what CSR washing is.
yeah. So I guess it depends if there are transparency. I guess there won't be this kind of whitewashing in the background. It will be, but somehow uh, there are companies who are trying. They are giving some of their money to the society, and there are companies who are doing excellent profits, but unfortunately the contribution to the society is very less. If you go through there are companies like the financial based company, consider any good company.
Nowadays we have that rule, no, the low 10% of their profit has to be given to the society. So because of that law, stringent law, they have to show it. Companies are going behind mainly the CSR activities. Okay,
But
very few
I
companies,
think
very few
that
leaders
is based
who are
on the
dedicated.
investment and the capital, I guess.
I think I will want to point out something here, Sayali, if you allow me.
Sure, please go ahead.
Basically, as it is said that it's just to cover up. Okay, to me, I think it doesn't agree. To me, I think I don't agree with what it actually delivers. There is something called as stakeholders in a business. Okay, so all the stakeholders in the business come with a assurance that they will be returned something in the form of consideration in future. In fact, to tell you where CSR started, it was not very famous before. Okay, it started coming into place eventually when the businesses started growing twofold, threefold, making supernormal profits. Okay, and eventually the stakeholders in the form of their external responsibility started questioning as to what business is doing after earning profit. Is the sole aim of the business earning only profit? So in that particular situation, the businesses were questioning themselves as to what else I'm doing other than showing my profits on the charts and giving out dividends and paying taxes. Just to talk about taxes, it's the stakeholder return to the government. That is the government is a stakeholder to a business and giving back to government is in the form of tax. Eventually, a shareholder is another stakeholder. Giving back to them is in the form of dividend. The third stakeholder is the environment. Giving back to the environment in the form of contributing to the environment in itself is CSR. So CSR in itself has been started as a concept and evolutionized in a way that that businesses are no longer and will be able to only and solely prioritize profit, but prioritize corporate social responsibility. And the name itself says it's a responsibility, it's a non-profit earning motive. So it all started where businesses started a lot thinking about what are they doing in the society, just trying to earn profits. There will be no other aim remaining for a company if they are only and solely operating for profit purposes. You go out there in the market, you try to buy a jacket. There will be hundreds of brands offering hundreds different styles of jackets. But then when you are moved, you are touched only when you feel that the company is trying to recycle its product and trying to make you look more stylish and more better with something that they already are making. Okay, it's not that the product is going to be costlier that much. Okay, the question of being costly or cheap doesn't come. It comes with trying to make you more stylish with what offering I can make. And there are pieces, there are products in the market which are recyclable, which are sustainable, and are still far more better than the products that we use today. So why not a step towards CSR, leaving your profit behind? Why not a step towards making something more greener and better? And not diverting from profit, but leaving your profit behind, keeping it on hold for a while. Okay, so that is the aim behind CSR.
Ankita, considering your point, why did a huge brand like Volkswagen had to wait till the emission scandal was out? Why didn't they think of going and giving it back to the society before this emission scandal happened? Because maybe they wanted to save their brand, they wanted to save their image in the market.
See, Sally, to tell you about Volkswagen, it wasn't saving the brand. It was not that today Volkswagen got into a scandal, a reputable brand just got into a scandal for 10 or 15 days. And tomorrow you find people not buying their product altogether. Volkswagen is still Volkswagen today. Okay. They didn't have to wait. They didn't do it after waiting and going through the litigation. They just took their stand at the point they fell into the trap. Okay, so it was just situational for me, I feel. It was not that they had to wait and think over and then say, where, and this happens only with those brands where brands really are focusing more on profitability. Okay, they realize this at a point, and this itself I'm talking about. Okay, so CSR in itself started the point where businesses started realizing that, yeah, there is nothing else other than profit we are doing. Okay, we have to show something on paper. We are just publishing our profits. We are just trying to give out dividends. We are becoming more self-centered. What are we doing in the society? And the questions kept on raising. The questions kept on going ahead. People started questioning. You should have an answer, right? When people question you regarding what are you doing with the society. Okay, when you say about McDonald's, as I said before, McDonald's is a brand trying to sell their fast food, and they have been established since a long time. It's a reputational brand. They for sure are going to earn profit. They have earned a profit. Okay. Now, if you see, Domino's has started sustainable packaging. Better late than never. It's not that Domino's earlier was not knowing where to start, or they were just throwing out papers outside in the garbage bin. But they initially have started, and this model has to, I feel, the lacking lies in the model of the businesses. As and when CSR starts becoming more and more popular, there are stringent laws, the models start changing, the demography laws, business laws start changing, it eventually is 100% going to take place in the outside market. So this is not about brand. It's about how you realize it and when you realize it, and the moment you realize it, you inculcate no harm.
Okay. Ankita, considering your point, Adolf had mentioned something related to taxation. So, Adolf, do you think that CSR is a taxation gimmick because a lot of governments give the organizations some brownie points if they carry out some CSR activities? There is some taxation exemption or some leeway in their taxes. So, do you think that it is a gimmick that they are carrying out CSR activities?
Well, the idea of taxation, I brought it into bear because there is this thought of we giving back to society. And tax is a component that is used to develop society, environment, and hold governance and regulations together. So you are obliged to pay your taxes. The argument we are having on board today is not to say nothing about at all about CSR, but we are saying you cannot just prioritize CSR over profit. And I appreciate the information that Ankita has put across. That is, CSR started when there was this information that companies are making extraordinary profits. And then what next? So then the argument came that they must also then contribute to certain other things. CSR then comes into play. So the whole argument is, without the profit, they wouldn't have been even the initiative of CSR. You need the profit to undertake CSR. A company must maximize profits. In this competitive global environment, exchange fluctuation, if you find yourself in an economy where you are heavily dependent on imported goods, your exchange rate is crazy. How will you former supplier or your former goods when the exchange rate hits you? You will need to come up from your retained earnings. And that retained earnings is because you have made enough profit to have reserved some for these shocks. So if you concentrate mainly on CSR, we need to ensure that we survive and protect the society profit first. Then we can be there to protect the society. Let me give a simple analogy. When you take a flight, there is an instruction manual at the seat that tells you oxygen issue or in case of any problem. First of all, put on your oxygen first before you even help your baby. That is how profitability and CSR relate. First of all, get the oxygen, which is the profitability. Then your baby, CSR, you can also give it to it. That is how I'll conclude on this.
So thank you for once again Sun, for contributing your thoughts on CSR and profit making. So I would like to ask Victor to start with your concluding sentence on this topic, since we are short on time and we have some other things to do. So, Victor, what are your thoughts and what would you conclude?
Well, my concluding thoughts are that first of all, we must look at say as far as actions that organizations take to integrate the social and economic consideration in their operations, particularly as they relate to uplifting the standards of the environment in which to operate. Now, to consider as to whether you focus on profit first for CSR, I think should not be looked at in terms in that simplistic way. The best approach to me would be that as a company operates, it needs to integrate CSR consideration in its operations. Those become part of its DNA. In that way, you don't have to make an extra effort to say that we need to make profits first before we do such and such a thing. If one of the values of the organization is upholding a clean society, they can actually incorporate that in their daily operations whereby either they help sweep the streets if they like. That's giving back to the society. It don't cost them much. They're just being part of the society in which they operate. And finally, also, I echo my point raised earlier that there's no set budget for corporate social responsibility, so it should not scare even the small scale companies. They can take it up. It's an ethical consideration. Thank you.
Well said, well said. So, Adolph, what would you conclude? And what do you say? What should
Yeah.
company should do?
Yes, the priority is what we do today, and then we think of what we can do tomorrow. So we need to maximize our profits, which is a major base of a company survival. And we should also avoid the thought of covering up on the wrongs in the society with CSRs. We must also be very efficient and responsible in our operations and aim to ensure that our primary stakeholders' returns are delivered. We have to safeguard jobs. We have to bring life to society. Livelihood of people is more important. So we must survive. We must make profits. Thank you.
Ankita, what do you say? What should be your key thoughts
Thank you,
on
Arga.
CSR and profitability?
For me, I think, Arga, to conclude with, these two paths that businesses follow today are their own self goal paths, okay, which I will say they'll ultimately end up a day at a point where companies will eventually have their own understanding of what they have left behind and what they have achieved, okay, and these will impact companies long term. They will realize, and eventually, as we all saw how COVID-19 hit all of us so far as our health was concerned. So I think even things, you never know things like COVID, you never know pandemics, you never know what is going to come ahead, okay. So every time having your share reserved for the society and for yourself is going to be effective and a long term achievable goal for businesses. So yeah, I'll end with that.
Krishnapriya?
To conclude, I would like to start from where the CSR initiatives actually started. If you see, it started with the industrialization, early 90s or 20s, where most of the when the industries when the industry revolution happened, okay, most of the wealth was with the industrialist people, okay, and there was a lot of slavery and pollution happened during that time, which has resulted in a situation today where we are facing global warming and hotness and these kind of pandemics, okay, flood, rapid. So that has actually made the global or the great leaders to think about some initiatives, okay, so that it can be all the people can be brought up. There is both economic contribution to the development of the entire society. So if you see in 2010s across, you can see many initiatives were taken by great leaders who has like concluded that the companies should contribute mainly to the people, the society, and the planet. Okay, it is a triple bottom line that was provided by John Ellington, which says that companies should focus on three dimensions: people, planet, and profit. So it is said that the companies has to balance this profit and CSR activities. So only if there is enough profit between for a company, then the company can contribute to the society. Okay, drowning company cannot contribute to the society as expected. The motto of the CSR is to uplift the society, to bring the society, and to protect our environment, which requires enough financial support, resource, and uh, research, everything, technology integration and everything, which is primarily contributed through the financial support of a company. So that is why modern CSR initiatives has been triggered and highly emphasized, even though some companies misuse that CSR initiatives. So companies, as I always say, whether it is a small company or a big company, a small part of the profit can be given to the society back, okay, as in order to protect the society. But at first, we have to stand in our leg. We have to have the shareholders or the stakeholders who are depending upon us. We have to return back to them. So profit is one important aspect the companies should follow, whether if they have to contribute back to the society in any ways. Thank you.
Thank you, Krishna Priya. Sally, I would like to ask some learner to provide their thoughts. So
Yes, I can see
uh,
that some learners are supporting Krishna Priya's stream and some learners are supporting
so
Ankita's stream.
we
So let
have
us.
one learner, Stephen. If Stephen, you can speak because I have seen your writings in the Q&A box. So if you can give your thought, Stephen Bua.
Yes, hello. I don't know if I'm the one because I've been asking to speak just shortly.
Yeah, you are also allowed to speak, Richard. Please.
Okay, thank you so much. So just quickly, just a few points. Firstly, I would love to talk about the profit issue and corporate social responsibilities. Firstly, I think what should be a company's priority is integrating and the corporate social responsibility principles within its policies. And it shouldn't be about profit making. I think a good corporate social responsibility would generate profit. Profit shouldn't be first, but corporate social responsibility should be more about the issues of sustainability. Looking at the society, considering environmental sustainability, respect and recognition for even the communities in which the raw material, the raw resources are and maybe extracted from, their inclusion, their participation in decision making relating, to these different and resources, looking at the entire value chain. So these are principles when set will help to generate profit because it creates more a market image for the company. But the company shouldn't be about profit making first. I think that will be a mixed step within the process. So also we look at compliance issues. Corporate social responsibility should be looked at more broadly, not just about having ad hoc activities or having few activities, giving back to communities. No, it should be integrated into different policies. We also look at national policies, right? Compliance to national policies, national laws. Climate, what are the climate and obligations of the company, right? When it comes to reducing emission. So to just close, shortly, I would say corporate social responsibility was used previously for companies to account on their ESG. But we all understand that corporate social responsibility has failed. So in 2011, now we have the UN United Nations Compact. We have the United Nations Guiding Principles also. And quite recently, the issues of business and human rights, looking at the UN Guiding Principles, should be considered over corporate social responsibility because corporate social responsibility is more weaker. So it would be better for us to consider issues around the guiding principles, which relates to business and human rights issues, which companies become more obligated to reporting on their ESGs, respecting communities, rights, and also their inclusions in decision making. All these issues should also be considered. So in that aspect, then holistically we consider corporate social responsibility. But I think it shouldn't be profit first. It should be people. It should be environment. It should be sustainability because these different And principles will actually help you to generate profit and keep the business moving. Thank you.
Well said. Well said. So, Sally, can you just
Yes, absolutely. First of all, I would like to thank all the panel members for their dedicated participation. And I really appreciate your holistic views and the points that you have put up for CSR and profit for organizations. I also thank the audience who have been patiently listening to all the points and
Sally,
the.
I would like to interrupt once. Stephen,
Sure,
would
sir.
you like to speak up?
Yeah, I would like to speak up. Can you hear me?
Yeah, please.
Okay. Yeah, I would like to talk about CSR in terms of Patagonia. I really disagree with the idea that CSR isn't just because of Patagonia contributing to the community as a result of paying taxes on their profit. And corporate social responsibility actually goes beyond financial contributions. And it's just about long-term sustainability, building brand loyalty, and making real social impact. So what I'm trying to say is Patagonia's commitment to environmental causes, for example, helps ensure they are not just profiting now, but also preserving resources for the future. Plus, CSR has been a key driver of their success, showing that you can be both responsible and profitable at the same time. So, and people usually support brands not just for its product, but for the value it stands for. So, this kind of trust and reputation can be achieved by paying taxes alone. Sorry, cannot be achieved by paying taxes alone. So, what I want to say is CSR actually allows businesses to make intentional positive impact beyond what is required by law or taxes, benefit not only on their bottom line, but society as a whole. And secondly, it goes to the Levi. While Levi has the resources to really balance CSR and profitability, it's more challenging for smaller companies with limited budgets. With that said, CSR doesn't always require massive investment. So I think it can be scaled to company size and its what capabilities. So smaller businesses can still engage in meaningful initiatives like supporting local communities or adopting sustainable practices, which in turn can drive a long-term profitability through brand loyalty and trust. So all I'm trying to say is that while large corporations like Unilever can or have more flexibility, a balanced CSR approach can also work for companies of all sizes if it is done strategically. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Stephen, for your valuable thoughts. Um, all the people have really brought some key points to the debate, and Arga and I are in dilemma whether to declare any winner or should there be a tie. Krishna Priya and Adolf, Ankita and Victor, both the teams have done amazing, and it is
And
very
both
difficult.
were logical. I must
Both
say,
were
both were
logical.
logical. Yeah.
All the points were valid and very convincing. And the way you guys have put it up is simply commendable. So I don't think that we have any winners today, although we still had a very healthy debate. And I believe that the audience has really taken some good takeaways from this discussion. And I hope you have, there is a lot of additional value that you are going to take from this debate. So I would like to wrap up today's session. And in conclusion, the debate profit versus corporate social responsibility highlights that these two activities are equally important. While profit is essential for business profitability, growth, and sustainability, CSR adds value by fostering long term success and enhancing brand reputation. Companies that integrate CSR into their business strategies often see benefits beyond just financial returns, including customer loyalty. However, profit is equally important, as it ultimately it is the blood of any business. So thank you again for everyone participating today. My colleague Arga will be quickly taking you through some new courses and the different kind of programs that UniAthena has come up with. Kindly stay tuned. Thank you.
Thank you. So before I go into the UniAthena programs, so we have we are also having ambassadors. So now we are also currently uh, coming up with ambassadors uh, plans. So here now I will be calling one of the ambassadors, and he will be sharing his experience and discuss the certificate subscription plan and how it has helped him to get certificates in his field in to enhance his skill. So we have Bethel Amadi. Bethel, I have given you can now speak. We have given you the access.
All right. Hello everyone.
Bethel, can you enable the camera if possible?
Yeah, where do I do that?
It's if you see below, there is option.
Um,
If it is convenient for you, it's okay. No, or else you can speak. No problem.
okay, I'm trying to find the camera.
No problem. No problem. You can speak.
All right. Hi everyone. My name is Bethel, and I'm an ambassador of UniAthena. I'm a Nigerian who is based in South Africa. I discovered UniAthena in 2022 via a social platform called LinkedIn. I saw one of their posts that reflected on my LinkedIn timeline, and I decided to click on the link. And since then until now, it has been an unending learning journey for me. As a lifelong learner, I have invested so much into learning from UniAthena. I have done over 20 courses since 2022. My most recent courses are Executive Diploma in UX, UI Design, Diploma in UX Design, and Diploma in Artificial Intelligence. These courses has helped me in my field of practice and also enabled me to stand out in my industry as a product design professional. What stands out Swift, their support units are in responding to learners' queries or inquiries. After completing my course, it's so easy to get my certificates without any further shenanigans. In my case, I got my certificate without any hassle or lengthy procedures or processes, both in soft and hard copies. As in, the hard copy of my certificate was delivered to my doorstep without any much input from my end. UniAthena websites and their dashboard is so easy to navigate and user-friendly. Just go to their website, www.uniathena.com. If you are a first-time user or learner, click on Get Started. If you are a returning student, then log in your credentials, and boom, you are good to go. Lest I forget, we have just launched a new program. This program subscription enables you to acquire 10 certifications from 10 different courses for as cheap as $250. This program subscription runs for a whole month. Isn't that amazing? So, without further ado, let's log in and subscribe to this new program and start learning. Remember, the more you learn, the more you earn. And this is the time. You're not just learning, your knowledge is also verified with certificates as proofs. Thank you everyone for being a part of this webinar, and feel free to visit our website www.uniantenna.com and contact any of our agents or consultants for further advice. I remain my humble self, Bethel Amadi, UniAthena Ambassador. Thank you for having me. God bless.
Thank you, Vithal. Thank you for the uh, guiding how to go through the UniAthena website and how to apply for the courses and how to get the certificates. Surely it helps an individual in his career, and it helps a person to improve his career in the through the skill acquired through the certificate courses. So thank you. Now moving ahead, if you go to UniAthena.com, if you go to if you check our website, you can able to see all the courses. But if you are looking for a career in sustainable business management, then you can definitely check into the website and explore the courses. Sally, can you move ahead? So the first course we have is MBA, globally recognized MBA. So here you will be getting all the MBA courses, which you can complete it within 9 months. And if you explore all the courses, we have executive MBAs, international IMBA, MBA general management. So from there you can get a master uh, degree courses. Can you move ahead, Sally? Moving ahead, we have another, if you have gone through the entire live discussion, one of the courses that you can also explore is Master in Organization Leadership, where you will be getting a Master in Organization Leadership. You will be getting a PGD in Organization Leadership, a Certified Human Resource Management Professional certificate. It is basically, it is accredited by Italian University, and it is a 60 credit courses. Now moving further, if you want to know about UniAthena, basically it is an edtech organization which gave online courses where a individual can upskill himself. It is founded in 2019, and it is owned by Westford Venture, which is Westford Education Group, uh, which is operating from 2018 in higher education sectors. Now, the partner accreditation, we have Arte University, Unimarcon University, UCAM, we have CIQ, CMI, SQA, FEDE University, EIE European Business School, and Acacia University. Sally, if you can go to the next slide. Now, why selecting UniAthena? First of all, we have flexible payment. So if you move, if you progress to the modules, based on the progression, you can pay the fees. It is 100% online, so you don't have to go to the college and explore to go through the physical world. You can completely pursue it through online. It is a self-paced course. You can take the time based on your work life, and then you can study. It is accredited by good universities, as mentioned earlier. And we have personal tutors and academic associate who will be helping you throughout in completing the courses. And lastly, we have modular course delivery, where all the courses are bundled up in modules. Can you move to the next slide? So we have learners who have given their feedbacks. If you can check their testimonial, you can see how satisfied they are and what they have done and what they are currently doing. You can go through their testimonials. So one of them is Kim White. He is from South Africa. And another learner is Jay Fu. He's from Singapore. He is also, if you can check, you can understand how much benefit he has got from this courses. So if you want to, if you have any questions, you can definitely reach us out. You can mail the admission team, and you can mail fatima@uniathena.com. Thank you once again for joining this live discussion and make this live discussion fruitful. Thank you all panelists, Krishna Priya, Victor, and all Funkita, for making this live discussion very much informative and very much logical, because till now we are confused that who to support. So it's
Yeah.
very much confusing. But we enjoyed a lot, and and it's 1.5 hour and we still don't know how the time flies. So thank you once again for
Thank
giving
you.
us this
Thank you, everyone.
information. Thank you. Thank you everyone for joining this webinar.